Welcome to the Smart Weight Loss Coaching Podcast. I'm Dr. Lisa Olson, a board-certified weight loss medicine specialist and certified life coach. In this podcast, I'll share fresh insights and effective techniques for incorporating mindset, habit change, and proven science into your life. Are you ready to achieve sustainable weight loss, wellness, and longevity? Then let's jump in and lose weight the smart way. Welcome back. You may have heard me say that you don't need to subsist on nuts, seeds, and berries to lose weight, and that's certainly true. But it's also true that incorporating nuts, seeds, and berries into our meals will provide some health benefits worth exploring. So today, at the risk of sounding like an overly enthusiastic granola producer, I'd like to shine the spotlight on seeds. When it comes to weight loss, we spend way too much time thinking about the things we'd like to eat less of, but it's infinitely more fun to think about things that are tasty that we want to start incorporating into our meals and snacks. Nuts are actually a type of seed, but today we're talking about what we call culinary seeds, some of which are seeds we use in things and don't really eat on their own, like chia seeds, flax seeds, and hemp seeds. Others, like sunflower seeds, pumpkin seeds, called pepitas, and even the roasted seeds from butternut squash, can be eaten alone as a snack. Why eat seeds, you might be wondering? I'll tell you why I eat them. Seeds are packed with healthy fats, fiber, and protein. Why wouldn't I eat them if I could find a way to make ingesting those tiny nutrient powerhouses easy and delicious? Chia and flax seeds, which are an excellent source of healthy omega-3 fatty acids and antioxidants, may improve our heart health by lowering cholesterol and blood pressure. Given that heart disease is the number one cause of death for both men and women in the U.S., we should all be eating seeds. And of course, foods high in fiber can leave us feeling fuller longer, which some of you find helpful for managing hunger and weight. Seeds also improve our digestion thanks to that high fiber content, and they're rich in vitamins and minerals. Foods high in fiber can help manage our blood sugar, which is why I like eating a lot of seeds to make sure my blood sugar doesn't spike. With a history of pre-diabetes, I'm all about high-fiber healthy foods for my metabolic health. And if you don't have pre-diabetes, awesome. Let's try to keep it that way using food as medicine. Seeds are a wonderful add-in food that I'm personally still learning how to incorporate into my diet. If you asked me 10 years ago how often I ate seeds, I'd probably flash back to images of autumn and think about roasting pumpkin seeds as a kid. I didn't know how to get seeds into my diet, and I'm still somewhat new to the seed world myself, though I now eat seeds pretty much every day. I mention that because I know firsthand it can be intimidating to use an unfamiliar ingredient. I remember the first time I saw soy milk. I was taking a trip to California back in the 90s, and we swung by to meet up with my friend's cousin, Annie, for a day or two. Annie pulled a box of soy milk out of her fridge to use for our coffee. It seemed so foreign and sophisticated to me, having only previously had milk in a gallon plastic jug from my local grocery store. Annie seemed hopelessly cool, and I'm quite sure she was eating flax seeds and chia seeds way back then when my only glimmer of a seed was scooped from a pumpkin on Halloween. Of course, now soy milk is all over the place, and it's familiar. After that, chia, flax, and hemp seeds became the new mystery health food in my mind. Of course, I'm joking when I call anything a health food. Lots of foods are good for us. And if you're eating real rather than ultra-processed foods, you're doing something amazing for your health. 60% of the foods we eat have ultra-processed ingredients, so if you read your ingredient labels and avoid things that contain unfamiliar additives, you are winning, whether or not you're a flax seed aficionado. But if you're like me and want to take it to the next level, consider adding in some nutrient-dense foods and ingredients that aren't currently part of your routine. I'm telling you, seeds might be for you. Recently, during a coaching call in my Smart Weight Loss coaching program, someone asked me about hemp seeds and whether or not they're related to marijuana. So I did some digging. I was pretty sure I knew the answer since I see hemp seeds at my local grocery store next to the nuts and chia seeds, but I wanted to make sure. Yes, it turns out that hemp seeds are derived from the same plant as marijuana. However, they're completely legal and safe to eat because they're extremely low in THC, which is the part of the marijuana plant that creates a high. I don't personally use weed, no judgment if you do, but I wouldn't eat hemp seeds if they were considered a drug or if they impacted my brain. I'm eating them for their super high protein content, 10 grams in 1 tablespoon, which makes them a truly protein-rich food. Before we talk about how to get seeds into your diet, let's hear a quick word from our sponsor. Haha, just kidding. It's still me, Dr. Lisa Olson, founder of Smart Weight Loss Coaching. If you're as focused on your health as you are on the scale, you're my person. In my online program, we'll help you establish healthy habits for weight loss, better health, and longevity. For those of you who have looked at our website before, you'll be excited to see that you no longer have to commit to a 3-month program to join us. If you'd like to learn more about our affordable monthly membership, head over to smartweightlosscoaching.com. I'm going to pivot now and share some ways you might incorporate various seeds into your food. Full disclosure, I'm not a huge fan of the flavor of flax seeds, and I personally don't think we should ever force ourselves to eat something we don't like just because it's good for us. That's assuming there are other healthy things you're willing to eat instead. I'll leave it to you to try to find recipes with whole or ground flax seeds to see if you can find one you like. Ask the Google. As for seeds I do like, let's start with chia seeds. I love the flavor and texture of chia seeds. Most often, I'll sprinkle them over steel-cut oats or plain Greek yogurt, typically along with fruit and also nuts. To me, they add a subtle sweetness and some texture variety. Many people make chia seed pudding, which can be a healthy dessert if you're adding a sweetener like maple syrup, honey, or sugar to it, or it can be a healthy breakfast if you're a purist and skip the sweeteners. There are a lot of varieties, but the basic chia pudding recipe involves putting 3 tablespoons of chia seeds into a large bowl and adding a cup of unsweetened almond milk or even coconut milk to it, and stirring to break up any chia seed clumps. Let it rest for about 10 minutes, and then if you'd like, you can stir in a little plain yogurt. Or not. I love plain Greek yogurt, so I'd add a bit of that, along with maybe a 1/4 teaspoon of vanilla extract or a sprinkle of cinnamon, and stir it in to mix well. Let that sit for a couple of hours or overnight, and then you get to decorate it. Myself, I go nuts for chopped nuts on top, along with berries. That's just me. Some people like to top it with coconut flakes, almond butter, or for a dessert, just a little bit of maple syrup, honey, or a sprinkle of dark chocolate chips. As I mentioned, I'm a fan of eating chia seed pudding with fruit as the sweetener. Seeds aren't just for breakfast, of course. Almost any kind of seed can be sprinkled on a salad. Try sunflower seeds, without the shell, of course, hemp seeds, pumpkin seeds, flax, sesame, or chia seeds. Any of these can be sprinkled on roasted vegetables, too, to add a little texture or flavor. And you can use sesame seeds to top off a stir fry. One of my favorite breads from our local bakery is a whole wheat seeded bread that's filled with a variety of seeds, including sunflower seeds, which tastes super hearty to me. Baked goods like breads and muffins can be enhanced with a sprinkle of seeds, as can dessert treats like cookies or cakes. Cookies made with some almond flour and a sprinkle of seeds in or on top of the cookie would land in the category of a healthy-ish dessert, kind of like banana bread with some seeds or nuts on top. Not that anyone can lose or maintain their weight while eating dessert daily, but when you do plan and eat dessert, which you should do occasionally, try making some baked goods with seeds. Hopefully, I've convinced you that seeds are great for our heart, metabolic, and gut health, for our weight, and are certainly a smart addition to my diet as I try to live healthy to 100. I'm wondering if you have any concerns about seeds. Here are a few considerations to keep in mind. You may have heard that people with diverticulitis can't eat seeds, but that's largely been disproven. In fact, we believe the fiber in seeds, when consumed with adequate water, prevents constipation and is beneficial for gut health. But please don't go bananas with your seeds to minimize bloating, gas, or even nausea. If you're not used to eating them, start low and go slow. A sprinkle of seeds should be no problem, but don't start by eating 3 tablespoons of chia seeds on day 1. Just like we tell people who are adding more beans to their diet for better health, this is something to start slowly and increase the amount you eat as tolerated. Also, if you're taking certain kinds of medications, like blood thinners, meds for diabetes or heart disease, some seeds may interact with your meds, so simply check with your doctor. Also, if you have a history of oxalate kidney stones or if you're pregnant, you might also want to check with your doctor before embracing seeds. Despite these cautions, I hope you're starting to get a sense that seeds are a healthy thing to add in to your nutrition plan. You may have come to this podcast thinking, I'm not going to be one of those granola people eating seeds every day, which I can absolutely hear my stepdad John saying to me. Or maybe you thought, I'm willing to eat seeds if they're healthy, but I have no idea where to start. Listen, this is figure outable. It's easier than you think. I was new to eating seeds too, and now I'm eating some seeds every day. In fact, I just started roasting acorn squash seeds for a quick healthy snack, which is something entirely new for me. Who knew they would taste so delicious? Now I'm regretting all the years I tossed that inner pile of orange stringy seed mess. I feel like I threw out the best part. All right, friends, it's time for your NBA, your next best action. The topic is seeds. Let's go. What are you going to do next? Maybe you'd like to buy a bag of chia seeds to sprinkle on your oatmeal or your yogurt. Maybe you'd like to make homemade granola with sunflower seeds. Maybe you'd like to sprinkle some roasted, lightly salted pepitas on your butternut squash soup to create a decorative crunch. Whatever your MBA, you might consider this mantra. I'm not afraid to experiment with seeds. Oh, wait, one more thing before you go. Did you notice that this is episode number 99? Next week, for our 100th episode, we have a special, or at least a different kind of episode for you. I'll be sitting down with Bridget Brennan, founder and CEO of the strategic advisory firm Female Factor. She is also an author of 2 brilliant books and an internationally sought-after public speaker. But most importantly, she is my dear friend of 25 years and has been kind enough to interview me for episode 100 about the topic of me, which feels a little self-centered and out of my comfort zone. But Julia, my brilliant podcast producer, encouraged me to give it a go just this one time so you'll know a little bit more about me personally beyond my role as a doctor. I hope you'll consider stopping in and taking a listen. Thanks so much for listening. If you'd like more support during your smart weight loss journey, check out our group coaching program at smartweightlosscoaching.com. Until next time, stay well and stay smart.